Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and for today's video for Umamusume, we're going to be taking a look at Mayono Top Gun, the Wedding Edition, and this is going to be the one of two Umas that'll be coming out tomorrow with the new event update. And so like we know with the other alts, she's going to have similar stats, but the big thing is going to be the change in her ultimate as well as skills. So let's go ahead and take a look at her and whether or not you should pull for her. So the first thing you can see here with her base stats, her bonuses come in the place of speed, stamina, and wit. And I actually really like this breakdown. Probably some of the most important stats. Now, power is important as well. But like when we come up to the Gemini one, I will say with speed and stamina being the key ones. Stamina, you're wanting to max out. Speed, you're wanting to max out. And then wit, you're not going to be pretty much hitting it at all when it goes to the run, so any little bit of bonus to it is going to be nice. So overall, I like the stat spread on her because it kind of gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to your stats, building on the career mode. Another thing I really like about her is right now she's the most flexible of like all of the Umas in terms of being able to build her for anything. She's A in turf, but she is E in dirt. You can make her into a dirt Uma fairly easy being E. She's not a G. Now, it takes some work to do that, but she can do dirt if you build her with like a 9-star dirt Uma like I have to kind of take her as high as possible. And then all I have to do is kind of luck out on the inspirations if you want to get her all the way to A on that. But which isn't 100% necessary when it comes to the dirt tracks. But then you also have her other stats, which is in the distance. She's naturally good at medium and long, but she's a D in mile and short. And as you already know, when it comes to the champions meetings, the biggest thing you're trying to hit an S in is the distance. And because of that, the pink sparks or red sparks you're taking are going to be the distance ones, like a majority of them. So she's very easy to get to A, mile, and A in short. And that way you can also trigger S on those. So she can do any of the distance types. Now, she's not going to be meta in all of them. She's not really going to be meta in any of them specifically, but she can do any of them. And that is what's really nice, is she is like one of your favorite Umas that you can pretty much build her for anything. It just might take some work if she's not the meta choice for that one. Same thing on the strategy. She can do all the strategies. And so overall, one of the most flexible in terms of being able to do anything within the game. Now, when it comes to her ultimate here, Flowery Maneuver. Big thing on this one is it is a very gambly skill on it. Nice thing is it works pretty much with all strategies because it has something for both of them. Now, they are different in that you get an increase in velocity when she's passing towards the front on the front end. But if she's passing towards the back, increase acceleration instead. So depending on where you have her here will depend on which one triggers, as well as the part that makes it a gamble is it's the final corner. And so we already know with that, when the upcoming Gemini, her ult isn't really going to be good there, is that one's coming too late. You want your Excel, which right now the only one that really exists is Straightaway Spurt for the straights. So this one will just activate a little too late, but you can get that increased velocity on that final corner. So you have Straightaway Spurt to kind of get you going on the Excel, and then if she's in the front, she can gamble, like it says in here. It is a gamble on this, which you can kind of read in the guides on her. If she's passing at the right time in that final corner, she can get an increase to her speed there. When it comes to her skills, what are the nice things? And I think this is something that'll be nice if this is like one of your favorite characters, especially as a free-to-play, is she has a swinging maestro built into her kit, just like you have with Super Creek. And so very, very nice because it allows you, especially if you're free-to-play and you don't have a Super Creek card, going into this Gemini Champions meeting, if you don't have MLB Ketis on Black, or were really unlucky on Ketis on Black in those pulls, you may be hurting for Gemini Cup for the simple fact that you do not have a Super Creek card, and thus you pretty much have to borrow that versus the Ketis on Black just because of Swinging Maestro. With her, If you get Mayono Top Gun, you don't have to worry about that because she just comes by default. You can skip having to borrow Super Creek. You can continue to borrow your Kita-san Black, and then just use whatever good SR support cards you have regarding stamina when it comes to trying to max out that stamina. The other thing is she's kind of one of those Umas that can be a debuffer slash racer in that she comes with Mystifying Murmur, so she's just behind Nice Nature in her debuffing capabilities. Now, we're going to be very hard up for skill points on the next one, Gemini Cup, so I would definitely not build her with the debuffs built in alongside your stamina skills, because you're going to want a ton of stamina skills, not just swinging Maestro, but the other ones like cooldown and that, just because of how difficult Gemini Cup is. But in future races, like when we do the next one after Gemini Cup, like the Cancer Cup, which is a mile distance one, where you're going to have a lot more flexibility in terms of skills, because you're just going to be looking at your speed, power, and wit to that extent, mostly. You are possibly going to be able to do more races and have more skill points, and maybe build her into a debuffer. Now, how much is that going to help when it comes to the mile race? Probably not much, but it is something that she can do. She can kind of be a racer that can debuff. And that'll have some potential future viability in medium races as well, as you've probably seen when it comes to the Taurus Cup, that even if you are not a whale, if you watch mine, for example, you can still win. Because just because you don't have the best stats, RNG, especially when it comes to the debuffs, can win you the races. And so overall, I think she's a great unit. We have one problem, though. One reason why I'd say for most people, she is a do not pull unless she is one of your favorite Umas. And that is the next upcoming Uma. And so you're probably already hard on pulls at this point. You've pulled on Kita-san Black. You should have max pulled for her. And then if you had leftover pulls for support cards, you then also pulled on Super Creek. So you're probably already hard up for pulls right now as it is. But if for some reason you have enough to guarantee, because you shouldn't be pulling unless you have 200 pulls to guarantee when it comes to Umas, is that right after her and Air Groove on this wedding event, the next big one, which is going to be Seiyun Sky, comes up. And if there's any Umas around this time period to pull on, it is going to be her. And that is because, not just because she's good, she's not really crazy good herself as a racer. But, I mean, she has one of the best alts, and you'll hear most people say mandatory alts when it comes to building a front runner. And that's because this one increases the acceleration at an opportune moment when on the lead in the final corner. And if you can activate this as a front runner with alongside the other like must-have skills for front runners, it can effectively guarantee you the win, because you just take off way earlier than everybody else, just because it's right before they all start attempting to make their passing moves. And so, since she is next, if you have the pulls and you're looking for the meta in terms of what to pull on in this kind of range, she is the one to pull for. And then after that, you pretty much have the waiting period for the Summer Special, which has Summer Special Week and Summer Maru Zinski. And so, right now, for my advice, I would say, unless she's your absolute favorite and you want to make her one of your waifu racers that you want to race in pretty much all the races, because she can do that. You can build her for pretty much any Champions Cup that comes up. And just because she's not meta, if she's your favorite, you can do that. So, other than that, I would say probably not to pull for her, because there's nothing too crazy that comes with her. Swinging Maestro is nice, but it is acquirable with a Super Creek card, which hopefully most people at least have Super Creek, even if it's not a low dupe, so you can still borrow the Kita-san Black that you need and then use your own Super Creek when it comes to like the long Champions meeting coming up. And then when you don't need it for like the following one, then it's not too big of a deal, because you're not going to need all the stamina skills anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just kind of my thoughts on Mayono Top Gun. Really like the unit, but I have the original version as well. I may end up trying out the original Mayono Top Gun, building her for the Gemini Cup. We'll just have to see. Right now, Narita Taishin's like my main goal for the Gemini Cup, so I'll have to look out to see what I do with my second and third ace at that point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's Mayono Top Gun, the wedding version. And if you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.